Hello, everybody. Happy hump day. I don't know about you, but today's been funky for me. I don't know if anybody else can feel it, but I want to thank you for hopping on with me. And today, as always, I'm honored to have you following. I'm honored to have you watching. And if you're here live, please let me know you're here. Say hello. If you're watching the replay, please type the replay so I can come back and answer your questions. And thank you. So today I want to talk about the mean girls. Of course, everybody hates them. Nobody likes a mean girl, right? I've always been somebody who hates bullies. So when I was presented with the inner mean girl and having an inner mean girl, I was like, there is no way possible. Hey to everybody who's joining. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Angie. Hey, James. So I would say, like, why would I allow a mean girl in my inner circle, let alone myself, right? But I was in for a big frickin' surprise because not only did she exist within me, I had a gang of them, which is crazy. So do you have an inner mean girl? Do you know if you have one? If you do, drop an emoji, say, hey, whatever you want to throw in there. But if you are aware of the fact that you have one, I'd like to hear it. And then if you are, have you ever really met her? And I mean really met her. So how many of you exactly know her? If you know you have her and you think you've met her, do you know her inside and out? Do you know what she looks like? Do you know what she sounds like? Do you know her name? Yes, she has a name. So I'm betting not many of you, and it's not your fault because it's human nature. It's fight or flight, right? We either want to force her out and shut her up, tell her to take a hike. We don't want to see it. We don't want it to be there because we think if we see it, if we acknowledge it, then it's not going away. But the kicker is that your inner mean girl, she's actually always with you. And she's never going to go away. And you cannot heal what you're not willing to look at. So you have to be willing to look at her. So what we have to do first is we have to really get to know her. I mean, deep down know her. Her toxic habits, her triggers, her motivation, why she was created in the first place, and really get a feeling for why she is here. Inner mean girls are usually created between the ages of 6 and 7. And I know it's a super scary thought, especially for all of you mamas on the line who have young girls or even teenage girls, to know that we start self-bullying that young. That self-bullying starts before you even realize it. It's a really scary thought, and it's a sad epidemic, but it is there. So during Meet Your Mean Girl, we actually uncover when your inner mean girl was created. We identify who your main inner mean girl is, because I'm guessing, probably like me, you have more than one. And so through a series of questions, we dig really deep and we find out who your main inner mean girl is, what archetype she is: perfectionist, comparison queen, like who is she, right? And then we uncover the story that maybe you filed away, is something that happened in your life, or something you didn't know started the trigger of self-bullying. We really have to figure out what that is and to know. And so the thing is that change doesn't happen overnight. So we have to work to delete our old story and our old programming to establish new ones. Like, it takes work. And when you start working to make the shift of the inner mean girl, let me tell you, she loves to come out and play, right? That's what she's here for. She comes out when you are starting to do the work. When you are starting to bring her to the surface, she is like going to remind you, you're not changing fast enough. You're not changing at all. And all of those things that she's trying to tell you actually delays the shift happening altogether. So shifts happen in 4 stages. Stage 1 is awareness. And this is where you become consciously aware of your inner mean girl, aware of her behavior, aware of her patterns and her habits. This basically gives you the superpower to be an observer versus the victim, okay? So stage 2, we're in reflection. You still do the sabotaging habits, the behaviors, the thoughts. You still make that self-sabotaging choice, but you're able to pause and look back on it, notice that you made that behavior, and then ask yourself what you could have done differently. Stage 3 is change in the moment. This is in the moment when you're about to do that self-sabotaging practice or habit or thought. You actually have the choice and the power to interrupt the pattern and then choose again. So now you are starting to actually recognize it when it's showing up and you're choosing differently. And then integration. And integration is stage 4. And this is where over time you continue to interrupt the patterns. Now you're making self-loving choices. You're creating new pathways and new patterns, which become your new behaviors, which is the only way to actually change and transform. You need to create new behaviors. So it's super important to have a full perspective of the entire path and expectations, because too many people pick up a personal development book, they join a webinar, they follow everybody they can follow, and they don't realize that this is a journey. It's a path, and it's a long path, and you have to be aligned with it. You have to be compassionate with yourself, and you have to be able to go through the transformation with an open heart and an open mind. So the yogis, they actually say that our habits control so much of us that we can actually change our destiny by changing our habits. It's so confusing, right? So our habits basically control everything, and in order to change our destiny, we have to change our habits. And the only way to change our habits is to become aware of them, to be able to change in the moment, and to create new patterns and new paths. So that is basically, the initial start of understanding your mean girl, understanding, why she was created, understand, that she honestly really is protecting you, but that those self-sabotaging habits are actually not serving you anymore. So you have to become aware. And when I talk about awareness in Meet Your Mean Girl, I'm talking about a full-on, we name her, we draw her, we see her visually, we have her in front of our face. So if this is resonating with you and you're ready to change your habits, I'm actually going to open up 10 free 20-minute breakthrough calls to really kind of give you a little bit of a breakthrough. And if you have an inner mean girl and you want to bring her to life, and you want to visualize and expose her, then we can hop on a call and we can do that. So that is what I have for you guys today. I'm really hoping to bring some awareness to this. And if you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll come back and check. If you want to message me, if you want to schedule a call, I'll actually drop the link in the comments. Other than that, I super thank you guys for tuning in. And tomorrow, I will see you same time. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into self-bullying tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody on, and I love you guys. Thank you all for tuning in live, and have an awesome day.